It's late. You're broke and hungry. You rip open that familiar packet, and 5 minutes later, you're slurping noodles that feel like the safest dinner choice. Just noodles, right? Wrong. That 50-cent pack hides enough sodium to blow your daily limit, rancid oils from overuse, and, in some cases, chemicals behind mass recalls and hospital visits. Today, we're exposing 10 instant noodle brands to avoid and revealing 2 that won't wreck your health. Stay till the end. One might shock you. 10. Maruchan. Instant lunch. You've done it 1,000 times. Peel the lid, pour boiling water into that white foam cup, wait 3 minutes, and boom. Instant comfort. Cheap, fast, filling. But that foam cup isn't just holding your soup. It's quietly leaching chemicals into your food every time hot water hits it. Here's the problem. 1,200 milligrams of sodium per cup. That's 80% of your daily limit if you're watching your heart health. 1 cup, before your day even starts. Then there's the foam itself. When you pour hot water into polystyrene and microplastics leach directly into your soup. For seniors eating these regularly, maybe 3 to 4 times a week because they're easy, that's chronic exposure adding up in your system. And those noodles? They're pre-fried in industrial oil that's been reused dozens of times, leaving them coated in rancid, oxidized fat that triggers inflammation. The fix: never eat soup directly in the foam cup. Dump the noodles into a ceramic bowl, use half the seasoning packet, add fresh vegetables, and drink water on the side. Better yet, skip Maruchan entirely and choose one of our safe picks at the end. Ever felt bloated after a foam cup meal? Which brand did it to you? 9. Nissin Cup Noodles. Nissin rebranded their classic cup with sleeker packaging, swapping some foam for paper, adding modern graphics, making it look like the product finally evolved. That new look tricks you into thinking the recipe got healthier too. It didn't. 1,160 milligrams of sodium per cup, almost identical to the old foam version. The packaging changed, the nutrition didn't. If you're on blood pressure medication or watching your heart, 1 cup demolishes most of your daily sodium budget. Add crackers, a sandwich, or another snack later, and you've blown past safe limits. Even once a week pushes your blood pressure readings higher. The noodles are still pre-fried in industrial oil, and that seasoning packet is engineered with MSG and powdered fats designed to make you crave another bowl. Salt, fat, and umami working together for repeat purchases, not your health. Use half the seasoning, add real vegetables and lean protein, and stop trusting prettier packaging. Always flip the cup and check the sodium number yourself before buying. Did the new paper cup fool you into thinking it was healthier? 8. Nongshim Shin Ramyun. Shin Ramyun is the spicy red packet recognized worldwide. Bold heat, crinkly vegetables, broth that tastes like home for millions. It's also the brand that triggered chemical contamination alerts across multiple countries. In 2023 and 2024, regulators in Taiwan and other markets detected ethylene oxide in Shin Ramyun seasoning packets. Ethylene oxide is a sterilizing chemical banned in food because of cancer concerns. The discovery forced recalls and raised serious questions about Nongshim's supplier testing and quality control. This wasn't a small batch issue. Multiple countries, multiple flavors, millions of packets potentially affected. When a brand this big has contamination at that scale, it exposes supply chain failures most consumers never see. The sodium load makes it worse. Variants hit 1,800 milligrams per pack, a full day's salt in one bowl. For seniors or anyone with heart issues, that combination of extreme sodium plus past chemical detection is a double risk you don't need. If you love Shin, treat it as rare indulgence, check for recall notices, and verify manufacturing dates. Better yet, choose brands with cleaner testing records. Shin lovers still eating it after the recalls? 7. Samyang Buldak. This is the one that became a social media ritual. The black pack, the cartoon chicken, and the I survived it videos. Samyang's Buldak line engineered a global craze, and then regulators in Europe raised a real safety flag. In June 2024, Denmark's food authority ordered recalls of certain Buldak variants after measuring capsaicin levels considered high enough to risk acute poisoning in vulnerable consumers. The action targeted extreme spice variants and was prompted by hospital reports and social media challenges. The recall was covered widely and led to temporary withdrawals while authorities and the company reviewed risks. That's not theater, it's a public health step that matters for kids and elderly people who may react strongly to capsaicin. Sodium is high too. Popular Buldak variants, e.g. carbonara, original hot chicken, commonly list over 1,200 to to 1,300 milligrams sodium per pack in many nutrition databases, not far behind the worst on the shelf. Add the capsaicin, and you've got a product that can cause GI pain, vomiting, palpitations, and circulatory effects in sensitive people. Medical reviews and poison control summaries show that high capsaicin exposure can produce nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, and changes in blood pressure and heart rate, symptoms that can be severe enough to require medical attention in some cases. That's why authorities warned about acute exposure, especially where teenagers challenge each other to eat whole packets for views. A packet engineered to make you win a challenge is also engineered to push your body hard. The spike of adrenaline and endorphins from capsaicin feels like a reward until the GI distress and circulatory rebound set in. If you like the thrill, don't make it routine. For seniors, avoid Buldak entirely. The combined load of high sodium plus very high capsaicin is unnecessary and risky. For younger adults, treat it like a one-off spectacle. If a friend posts a finish it dare, remember the hospital cases behind some viral clips. And if you see a local recall or advisory, obey it. Retailers will remove affected lots for a reason. Have you ever done the fire noodle challenge? Be honest, how did it end? And did you go to the fridge or to the ER? Samyang made a viral product from pain and pride. It's fun to watch and risky to eat repeatedly. If you prize long-term health over short-term views, leave this one to the challenges and not the dinner table. 6. Jin Ramen. You open the packet and the aroma is soft, gentle. Nothing like those fire noodles burning up social media. Jin Ramen tastes mild, feels safe, the kind you'd serve to someone with a sensitive stomach. That gentle flavor is hiding something most people never check. Jin has the highest sodium on this entire list, 1,800 to 1,980 milligrams per pack. More than the spicy noodles everyone warns about, more than the foam cups, more than almost anything in the instant aisle. Here's the trap. People see mild and think harmless. They eat it 3-4 times a week because it doesn't burn, doesn't make them sweat, doesn't feel dangerous. Meanwhile, that invisible salt load is doing silent damage. And because there's no heat warning your tongue, you never suspect it. The spicy noodles scare people into eating them once in a while. Jin's gentleness tricks people into eating it constantly. That's why it's more dangerous. If you keep it around, use zero seasoning packet, rinse the noodles after cooking, and treat it as a base for real vegetables and protein. Or just skip it and choose one of our safe picks. Which mild ramen fooled you the longest? 5. Indomie Mi Goreng. Indomie Mi Goreng is a cultural constant for millions. The fried noodle packet that doesn't need boiling water if you don't want it. The one with the soy sweet sauce and crispy shallot bits that taste like home across continents. But that beloved flavor has two big risks: chemical residues and oil quality. In 2023, several authorities flagged trace amounts of ethylene oxide, ETO, in specific Indomie flavor shipments. Taiwan pulled a special chicken variant, and Malaysia ordered checks after tests found ETO in seasoning packs. ETO is a sterilizing chemical that many regulators limit or ban from food use because of carcinogenic concerns at higher exposures. Its detection triggered recalls and increased sampling across markets. Authorities and Indofood responded with lot checks and recalls, where relevant, but the incident shows how a single contaminated ingredient, the seasoning pack, can raise real questions about supply chain oversight. The other issue is oil reuse. Large-scale frying of noodles often uses industrial palm oil, and when that oil is reheated repeatedly, it accumulates peroxide values and secondary oxidation products that darken the oil and change flavor. Independent lab checks and regional consumer tests in places like Hong Kong and Taiwan have reported oxidized oil residues or off flavors in fried noodle products, prompting retailers to pull or test shipments. Oxidized oils not only taste stale, they contribute to oxidative stress when consumed regularly, not ideal for older adults balancing cardiovascular risk. Sodium is also a defining feature. Many fried-style packets include concentrated oil-based seasoning plus a salt powder packet. Depending on the market and variant, a single Indomie Mi Goreng pack can deliver upward of 800 to 1,000 milligrams sodium or more once you add the flavor oil and soy sauce. That's a heavy load if someone eats a pack frequently. Combined with the oxidized oil issue, the meal becomes a double hit: salt that raises pressure and oil that stresses vessels. Think of Indomie as the world's comfort snack, but comfort that travels is also comfort that's mass-produced. And mass production means sensitive steps, like ingredient sterilization and oil turnover, happen at scale. When one step fails, millions of packs can be affected. The emotional weight is real. Many people grew up with Mi Goreng as tradition. That makes criticism tricky. It's not just food, it's memory. But tradition doesn't erase risk. For caregivers, the practical move is simple. Rotate brands, choose boxed or fresh-made fried noodles when possible, and avoid consuming the flavor oil packet whole. Use a fraction of it, and add greens and lean protein. If a market issues a recall, obey it. Don't assume your pack is fine because the brand is familiar. Who grew up on Indomie and still keeps a pack for comfort? Be honest. How often do you eat it now? Indomie is global comfort in a packet, but recent ETO detections and oxidized oil reports remind us that global reach needs global checks. Treat the red packet with love and a lot of caution. 4. Mama Shrimp Tom Yum. For millions across Southeast Asia and beyond, Mama Tom Yum is comfort in a packet. That lemony, shrimpy aroma that fills the kitchen when you tear open the wrapper, it's the smell of home, of street vendors, of authentic Thai flavors you can't find anywhere else. The packaging promises a bowl of Southeast Asia in 5 minutes, and for decades people have trusted that promise. But that explosive aroma you're smelling, it's not real shrimp, it's not real lemongrass, it's synthetic ester compounds engineered to trick your nose. Food scientists design these volatile chemicals specifically because they evaporate fast and create an intense smell that fades the moment hot water hits the packet. The shrimp flavor comes from powdered extracts. The lemongrass is concentrated lab-made aroma. That first sniff signals authenticity, but by your second spoonful, the magic is gone and you're left with flat, chemical-tasting broth. The creamy variants add palm oil-based fake cream and powdered dairy substitutes to simulate richness without using anything real. What feels like tradition is actually sensory engineering designed to sell repeat purchases. If you want real Tom Yum flavor, buy a jar of lemongrass paste and lime, use a fraction of the seasoning, and add actual shrimp or tofu. Ever notice the smell never matches the taste? Which brand's aroma fooled you? 3. Ace Cook. How? Why this popular pack deserves a hard pass for older adults. You tear the foil, drop the cake into boiling water, and 5 minutes later you've got a steaming bowl that looks like dinner. It's cheap, filling, and designed to hit the flavor sweet spot fast, but the grocery price and the warm broth hide 3 separate problems that matter a lot. If you're buying for someone on a blood pressure, heart, or kidney plan, very high sodium, repeated use of fried, oxidized oils, and documented supply chain chemical alerts tied to seasoning or spice components. Start with the numbers. Multiple nutrition databases for common how flavors list sodium in the 1,100 to 1,900 milligram range per packet, depending on the variety and format. A single bowl that, in many cases, equals or exceeds a full day's recommended sodium cap for a person on a 1,500 milligrams per day target. Some vegetarian or milder how packs still show sodium in the 1,500 to 1,800 milligram bracket in public nutrition listings. In short, one packet can consume the majority or more of an older adult's safe daily sodium allotment. That sodium number isn't academic. For seniors who take ACE inhibitors, ARBS diuretics, or who have chronic kidney disease, the body's ability to handle salt shifts. Higher sodium raises blood pressure and pulls fluid into the bloodstream. Medically, that translates to higher clinic readings, more edema, swelling, and tougher medication control. Repeatedly eating these packets, even twice a week, moves lab numbers in the wrong direction. Clinical evidence links dropping daily sodium by roughly 1,000 milligrams to meaningful falls in systolic blood pressure in older adults. Avoidances at the front end make measurable differences at the doctor's office. Next, oil and oxidation. Ace Cook's noodles are typically pre-fried in industrial palm oil to build texture and shelf life. In large production runs, oil turnover is expensive and factories often reuse or extend oil life within regulatory allowances. When oil is reheated many times, peroxide values in secondary oxidation products increase. They can alter taste and, more importantly, raise markers of oxidative stress when consumed regularly. Oxidized lipids are a real dietary burden for aging blood vessels. They don't cause an immediate crisis, but they contribute to chronic inflammation and vascular wear over time. For older bodies that already carry higher baseline vascular risk, that cumulative load matters. Third problem, supply chain chemical flags. Ace Cook and other large regional manufacturers have been subject to market recalls or spot checks over the last few years related to ethylene oxide residues in seasoning packs or imported spice components. Some European and Asian authorities flagged specific lots of instant noodles from Vietnam and adjacent suppliers, including some Ace Cook products, for ethylene oxide traces and initiated targeted recalls. Regulators often treat such findings seriously. Even if the immediate health risk from a single exposure is low, ethylene oxide is a fumigant/sterilizer that many food regulators restrict because of long-term exposure concerns, and the detection signals a supplier or ingredient control failure that we should pay attention to. If a big brand's seasoning supplier slips, millions of packs can be affected before a recall is posted. That's exactly the scale problem seniors cannot afford. Picture a packet that delivers 3 strikes at once: daily salt overload, gradually accumulating oxidized oil compounds, and a seasoning supply chain with documented spot check failures. Each strike alone is bad. Together, they push vulnerable people toward clinic visits and avoidable medication adjustments. 2. Jin Ramen. You drop the packet into boiling water and the steam is soft and familiar. Jin, sold as Jin Ramen in many markets, feels like the mild one, less theatrical than the fire noodles, easier to swallow, friendly to most palates. But mild flavor does not mean mild nutrition. Many common Jin Ramen presentations list very high sodium, often around 1,800 to 1,980 milligrams per package in nutritional databases for typical full-size servings, depending on flavor and portion size. That number reads like a full day's salt for someone on a low-sodium regimen. If a doctor told an older adult to aim for about 1,500 milligrams per day, one pack of Jin can blow past that target in one bowl. The production reality makes the nutrition problem worse. Jin's noodles are typically flash-fried in palm oil to achieve texture and shelf stability. In mass production, frying oil is expensive to replace with every batch. And when oil is reheated repeatedly or allowed to age, oxidative breakdown products accumulate. Those oxidation products change flavor, a faint stale or metallic aftertaste, and are associated in research with raised inflammatory markers when consumed chronically. For older bodies already navigating cardiovascular risk and medication effects, adding oxidized lipids via a mild bowl is counterproductive. Mild ramen can be a stealth sodium delivery system. Taste-wise, it's mild. System-wise, it's heavy. Texture risks matter too. Lower-cost formulations favor brittle or oily strands to keep price low. For seniors with chewing or swallowing issues that can increase choking risk or coughing after meals, a real, often overlooked hazard in caregiving. If a parent coughs after one bowl, but not another, notice the brand and swap it out. How to use it less dangerously. Cook Jin in plain water, drain and rinse the noodles briefly, and use half the flavor packet or none. Add lean protein and fiber, greens, peas, or egg, and a splash of low-sodium soy to finish. For caregivers, reserve Jin as an occasional convenience, not an everyday meal. Track frequency. Even 2 packs per week can move a sodium watcher into risky territory. Did a mild ramen ever make you feel unexpectedly thirsty or bloated afterwards? Which brand fooled you? Tell the story. Jin sells calm on the packet, but the numbers tell another story. If a senior depends on quick bowls, treat Jin like a base ingredient, not a finished meal. 1. Maggi. Maggi noodles are everywhere in parts of the world, almost a cultural staple in some countries. That makes any safety flag especially painful because the brand is trusted. But history matters. In 2015, Maggi faced a huge national crisis in India when government testing found lead levels above permissible limits in some samples. That resulted in temporary bans, mass recalls, and a major reputational shock. Millions of packs were pulled while labs and courts sorted test results. The event showed how a popular pack can become a public health flashpoint when supply, testing, and oversight don't align. 2 takeaways make Maggi our #1 avoid for seniors in this list. First, when a product has a major contamination episode at scale, even after reintroduction, there's an understandable trust deficit, and regulators and consumers need to see concrete, sustained testing and supply chain change before full reassurance. Second, Maggi-style packs often have high sodium and use powdered flavor bases that load a bowl with salt fast. Combined, these 2 facts create a worst-case scenario for older adults. A trusted brand whose past included dangerous contamination, paired with the typical sodium/processed fat profile of instant ramen. The worst kind of risk is the one you didn't see coming because you trusted the name on the pack. Practical guidance. Avoid making Maggi a daily fix if you care for someone on a cardiac or renal plan. If you do buy it, verify the manufacturing information and any public recall history for the lot, use only a portion of the seasoning, and add low salt sides. Remember, nostalgia is not a health strategy. If a brand you grew up with had a major safety scare, did you stop buying it for good or give it another chance after recalls? Why? Share your decision. Maggi's story is a warning. The biggest brands can hurt the most when trust breaks. For seniors, stick to options with transparent testing and low-sodium formulations. Now it's time for 2 actually safe picks. Safe pick 1, Lotus Foods Rice Ramen. Paulo Clean Bowl is a brand that chooses air-dried noodles, simple ingredients, and minimal seasoning. That's exactly the design we want for seniors. No fried oil, short ingredient lists, and lower sodium blends. When a maker air-dries noodles instead of frying them, you cut oxidized oil exposure and calorie density. When the seasoning list is short and low salt, the sodium math is friendlier. Use Paulo or similar air-dried, low-additive cups as your go-to convenience cup, and always add fresh veg and protein. Paulo was from your outline as a recommended clean brand. Practical tip: if a clean brand doesn't list sodium per serving on the front, flip the pack and confirm the number is well under 600 milligrams per serving, ideally 200 to 350 milligrams, before buying for someone on a strict sodium plan. Safe. Pick 2. Nissin Rao. Nissin Rao was built to show instant can be closer to crafted ramen, steam-dried, not deep-fried, and a liquid broth base or higher quality stock in many SKUs. Rao saves texture without frying oil and often uses better stock concentrates. That means less oxidized oil, more authentic mouthfeel, and, depending on the flavor, moderate sodium that's easier to manage because the noodles themselves aren't carrying oil-laden seasoning packs. If you want instant with care, Rao is a reliable step up. How to use safe picks. Choose the in-water or no-salt variants where available, add veg and lean protein, and use only part of the seasoning. Rotate brands so seafood/seaweed/sodium exposures don't accumulate from any single source. For seniors, aim to limit instant noodle meals to once or twice a week max, and treat each pack like an ingredient, not the whole meal. And there you have it, 10 instant noodle brands that promise quick comfort but deliver slow damage to your blood pressure, kidneys, and heart. And 2 brands that actually care about what goes into your body. Look, we're not saying instant noodles are evil. We're saying most brands cut corners you can't see, reusing oil until it's toxic, loading seasoning packets with a full day's sodium, and in some cases, exposing you to chemicals that triggered recalls. Small changes make a massive difference. Choose air-dried over deep-fried. Use half the seasoning packet. Add real vegetables and lean protein. Your next doctor's visit will prove it worked. If this opened your eyes, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're exposing more food traps, from frozen dinners to canned soups, all to help you eat smarter without sacrificing convenience or flavor. Drop a comment. Which instant noodle brand are you giving up for good? And which one surprised you the most? Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, eat smart, and keep rising above the hype.